Good morning, everyone. We are the Group 7 and we're going to present to you the IP groups of TASADAY and MANSAKA. Geographical location of TASADAY. An indigenous people of the mountains of South Cotabato Province in Mindanao. The TASADAY were officially discovered by the outside world in 1971. According to the oral histories, the TASADAY fled to the inner reaches of the rainforest several hundred years ago, living in caves after a disease threatened to wipe out neighboring communities. They believed that the forest was the entire world and that they were the only ones left alive. Ang mga Tasaday ay naninirahan sa kabundukan ng South Cotabato Province sa Mindanao. At ayon sa mga oral histories, may dumapong sakit o karamdaman kaya naisipan ng mga Tasaday na manirahan sa kuweba sa loob ng kagubatan. At naniniwala na sila na lang ang natitirang tao sa mundo. The cave site where they said to have lived is located in the dense rainforest of South Cotabato Province in southern Mindanao, at 6 degrees and 18 minutes to the north and 124 degrees and 33 minutes to the east, at an elevation of 1,200 meters. At ayon sa dokumentaryo ni Miss Cara David sa Eyewitness, ang mga Tasaday ay naninirahan na ngayon kasama ang mga Manoboblit.
The geographic location of Mansaka tribe. So, Mansaka are located in the provinces of Davao del Norte and Compostela Valley, including the Manat Valley, Maraguzan Valley, Hijo River Valley, seacoast of Kingking, Macoquambog, Tagum, Liboganon, Tuganay, Ising, and Panabo. So this area or this location where you can find the different communities of the Mansaka groups.
The worldview Tasaday, Stone Age culture. Ang mga Tasaday ay isa silang Stone Age culture. Ang ibig sabihin ay napaka-inosente ng mga Tasaday at walang kaalam-alam sa mundo, o kumbaga wala silang kamuwang-muwang. Kasi ang alam natin pag Stone Age culture ay wala pang mga technology, wala pang cellphone at internet. Next naman po ang exotic in their isolation, their hunting and gathering lifestyle, their nakedness and their existence in cave and their gentleness, complete isolation from the rest of Philippine society. Living the life of Stone Age cavemen unaware that there were any other human being on the planet. Sabi dito nga, complete isolation from the rest of society. So, sabi nga dito, ang Tasaday is sobra silang na-isolate or ibig sabihin na outcast o yung time or oras nila ay huminto. At naiwanan din sila ng panahon. Didn't know there was a sea, didn't know their land had to be protected. The simple things that we had with our group, for instance like rice, they did not even know what it was or even have name for it. Sabi ko nga po kanina na pag-iwanan sila ng panahon at huminto ang oras nila. Actually, pumunta sila sa lugar na kung saan sila naninirahan yung time na yon. Dahil may dumapo na sakit at walang gamot, kaya naisip ng mga Tasaday na umalis sila at maghanap ng lugar kung saan malayo at kung saan hindi sila mahawaan ng sakit. Next naman po they make fire with fire drill. They have no agriculture, taking other food from the trees and stream around them. They use stone tools. They have no word for weapon, hostility, or war. Sabi po dun, ang mga Tasaday ay gumagawa din sila ng apoy at wala din silang agriculture. And another things na kinakain nila is katulad din sa atin na bigas. Pero di nila alam na bigas pala yun. At yung mga kinakain nila ay kinukuha lang nila sa puno at sa batis. And then, gumagamit din sila ng stone tools, parang tulad natin or parang pinalevel up version ng kutsilyo yung ginagamit nilang stone tools para sa mga pagkain nila. At sabi ko po kanina, yung mga tasaday is sila yung pinaka-inosente at walang kaalam-alam sa mundo. Pati po yung pakikipaglaban ay hindi din nila alam.
Are the Mansaka worldview. Harvest ceremony. Rituals as performed by the Bailan or ritual practitioner are done during planting and harvesting season. This activity is done to ask magbabaya to give them bountiful harvest and to drive away bad spirit or pest that will damage their plants or farms. Because they believe that magbabaya or God is the reason for having a bountiful harvesting season. That's why rituals are important to perform for them. Wedding ceremony. Mansaka maiden usually marries when she reaches the age of 13 to 15 or when she is already experiencing menstruation. Um, Mansaka have also the traits that their parents is the one who going to choose for their partner in life, or we also called it arranged marriage. Age gap between the intended couples does not matter, but virginity is important. Example of this is when the groom age is 50 and the bride's age is 25, or the bride age is 50 and the groom age is 25. They don't care about about ages. All they care all they care is the bride, that she need to be untouched by anyone until she get married. Because when her husband find out that his bride is no longer a virgin, they also ask the parents of the bride to refund the whole or at least 3% of wedding expenses. That's how their practices is about wedding. Healing ritual. Bailan also performed a ritual or ceremony to heal a sick member of the community. If a member becomes sick or is purportedly being punished by the spirit of the river, the ceremony will also be done at the river. Dahil naniniwala sila na kung saan man nila nakuha ang sakit, ay siya din lunas nito. And also, according to my other research, the Bailan have also a healing process, believe that if the patient can be cured or not. They can determine it by cutting the head of a chicken. If the beheaded neck pointed to the east, patient can still cured. But if it pointed to the west, the patient chance is uncertain. Usually, they offer food, wine and battle nut, areca leaves and lime or mama to appease the evil spirits. Tribal warrior or Bagani. Leaders like the Baganis or warrior's head are highly regarded due to their personal valor, fortitude, physical strength, and being the son of a former Bagani, but above all due to a certain amount of charisma. Um, but but before they have the title of being Bagani, they should kill at least 7 or more men in a battle, because Bagani is the one who lead their community and protect the rights and lives of their tribes. Dawut or song, Mansaka song or Dawut, an instrumental music. I discovered that most of their music was constructed in pentatonic scale, which is the main characteristic of Asian music. In the Mansaka tribe, Dawut is an extemporaneous singing that talks about their history, culture, and tradition. And when we say pentatonic scale consists 5 note scale or musical scale containing 5 different tones. It is thought that the pentatonic scale represents an early stage of music developed because it is formed in different forms in most of the world's music. Also, Mansaka learned their music through their dead ancestors, who appeared to them in a sacred place in Masara Mountain called Pula, where only the Mansaka are allowed. Non-Mansaka people are prohibited from going to keep them away from trouble and sickness. And for addition, beliefs and practices of Mansaka. Balian or Shama, usually female medicine person who officiate in rituals involving sickness, death, planting, and harvest. They believe in a supreme being whom they called Magbabaya. Mansaka identified themselves as Utaw or people created by Magbabaya. Mansaka Manaog or domestic gods are represented by wooden statues standing on a parangka. Offering are given to a Manaog after rice planting, harvest, and before death. Mansaka offer food, wine, and betel nut, areca leaves, and lime or mama to appease the evil spirits. They believe that human ailments are caused by displeased super beings. And here are the reference of Mansaka worldview. Thank you.
The material culture of Tasaday. The Tasaday live in caves, use stone axes, and wear tiny leaf G-string. So yung stone axes at yung tiny leaf G-string, ang mayroon lang sila noong mga time na yun. Yung stone axes ng mga Tasaday ay isang kagamitan nila. They had no pottery, cloth, metal, art, houses, and weapon. So dahil nga nakatira sila sa cave at napag-iwanan sila ng panahon, when it comes to handmade object, wala talaga silang nalikha. Wala silang pottery, metal, art, house, or even weapons na pwede sana nilang gamitin sa pang-araw-araw. Talagang yung stone axes tapos yung clothing nila ang Tasaday speak a separate dialect of Manobo. The Tasaday speak a dialect of Cotabato Manobo, one of more than 20 languages making up the Manobo subgroup of the Southern Philippine Austronesian language family. So when it comes to their language, separate ang dialect nila sa Manobo. Base iyon sa pag-aaral ng language nila. Kasi madaming nagsasabi na same lang ang language ng mga Tasaday sa language ng Manobo. Pero dahil sa tagal ng ilang years silang na isolation sa kuweba, kaya it made it different sa language ng Manobo. The Tasaday language is called Cotabato Manobo, which is isa yung language nila sa mahigit na 20 language na bumubuo sa Manobo subgroup ng Southern Philippine Austronesian language family.
Material culture of Mansaka. Mansaka ethnic group is found in the province of Davao del Norte and Compostela Valley, particularly in the cities of Davao and Tagum and other municipalities of the said provinces in Pantukan, Macobo, Mabini, Mawab, Nabunturan, and Maragusan. The Mansaka are the most dominant ethnic group in the Compostela Valley province. They are said to have lived in the area since the time when Magbabaya created them. They are particular in the management of their economic activities, especially in farming, when and where they establish their farms. It is important that they do not go into anyone else's territory. If ever this happened, a tribal war ensue. So sa Mansaka po, is yung pinaka-main activity nila is yung farming. So sa farming po, hindi po sila pwedeng lumagpas sa kanilang sinasakahang lupa dahil once na lumagpas po sila is magkakaroon ng tribal war ensure. The community assigns members to manage the farm. Men are tasked with tilling the land and other farm-related jobs. They do not farm on the same area to maintain the fertility of the land and to prevent future soil erosion. Women, on the other hand, are tasked to produce clothing and wave mats. They also help in the farm during planting and weeding and harvesting times. So sa Mansaka po is yung mga members po nila is may kanya-kanyang trabaho. Iba po yung trabaho ng men and iba po yung trabaho ng women. So yung trabaho po ng men is more on po sila, nasa farm po sila. While yung women po is sila po yung mga gumagawa ng clothings and wave mats po. Pero minsan po tumutulong din po sila sa farm during planting, weeding, and harvesting time. Rituals as performed by the Bailan ritual practitioners are done during planting and harvesting season. This activity is done to ask Magbabaya to give them bountiful harvest and to drive away bad spirits and or pests that will damage their plants or farms. So, yung nagpe-perform po ng rituals is tinatawag po nilang Bailan. So, yung rituals po nila is ginagawa po nila done during planting and harvesting season. So, yung activity po na ito ay para mag-ask sa Magbabaya na bigyan sila ng masaganang ani at para din po itabo yung mga masasamang spirits or pests na maaaring maging sanhi ng damage sa kanilang plants or sa kanilang farms. The time of harvest is an occasion for merrymaking. The first meal from their farm produce is called pagsawitan. A ceremony is performed to offer the first harvest to magbabaya. So once po na nakapag-harvest na po sila, nag-offer po sila kay magbabaya at tinatawag po nila ang pagsawitan. Ito po yung tawag sa first meal nila na ina-offer po kay magbabaya. Tribal custom practices. The Mansaka's economic and political life is largely determined by the tribal's elders or matikadong, who are also called baganis, or tribal warriors. The task of a bagani is to protect the rights and lives of the community or clan member. He is called a tribal warrior because of his capacity to fight and protect the community. A bagani has killed at least 12 people prior of assuming the position. A ceremony is performed by the bailan to proclaim the tribal warriors. A ceremony is performed by the bailan to proclaim the tribal warriors. The bailan also perform a ritual or ceremony to heal a sick member of the community. So, yung tawag po sa mga taong protekta sa kanilang community sa Mansaka is which is what we call the baganis or the tribal warrior. So, ang bagani po ay kailangan makapatay ng 12 people para po mapunta sa kanilang position. So, meron pong ginagawa yung bailan bago po sumabak yung mga bagani nila sa isang halimbawa na lamang po is war. So, yung bailan po is also nagpe-perform po para mang-heal ng sick. When it comes to courtship, the parents of the girl and the boy makes the arrangement. The boy is expected to help in the farm of the girl's parents. He also pays in amount or in a kind the wedding dowry. An elder and a tribal leader officiate the wedding ceremony and sit with them at the table. Part of the ceremony includes an exchange of food, bowl of rice and viand between groom and bride. So, pagdating po naman sa courtship nila, para yung courtship po nila is parang po nakikipagsundo yung boys sa parents ng girls or what we call po sa atin na fixed marriage. So, sa boy po, expected po siya na tumulong sa parents ng girls para po mag-pay in amount or in kind the wedding dowry. So, ito po is part po ng kanilang wedding ceremony. So, pag wedding ceremony na po, it is nag-ano po sa exchange of food. Kung halimbawa na lang po is bowl of rice and viand between the grooms and the bride. Hunting weapons, tuklo, spear, sumpitan, gun, purot, pirasan, litag, katal, aris, ututan, metal craft, present of pandayan, blacksmith shop, other economic activities, weaving, dagmay, abak cloth with design, woven with 3 types of fiber, bintok, sikari, konarom, wood carving, pottery, basketry, budyak, karasag, busog. Political systems have unwritten laws based on their traditions, custom, and beliefs. This law guides the political leadership in judicial, social, and political matters. Traditional leadership, matikado. The leader of the tribe has a family and alang or servants, a council of leader, mangkatadong. Clothing women adorn their bodies with sampat, platena, balyug, and bracelets. Wear decorative combs of colorful beads and beaded hairpins, may have bangs or tie their long hair at the back. A portion remains untied near the ears. The blouse of a daughter of the nobility is full of design motif called pianyagon, biatutuan, limbotong, and binawid. Their clothes are made from abaca and saragboy, a soft cotton-like cloth from a native tribe. Men wear short pants or sairaw tanan, also made from abaca and woven by women of the tribe. So, ito po yung clothing ng mga members ng Mansaka.
Social organization about TASADAY. TASADAY were actually members of the nearby, more culturally advanced on Manubuglit or Tibuli tribes. The TASADAY were a group of hunter-gatherers. The TASADAY only consists of 26 people living together in a cave, and all of married men reportedly being brothers or first cousin. Sa madaling salita, ang mga TASADAY nga daw ay mas advanced pagdating sa kultura kung ikukumpara sa Tibuli tribes. At ang mga TASADAY ay grupo sila ng mga hunter-gatherers or yung mga naghahunting para mabuhay kasi nga nasa Stone Age sila noon. At para mabuhay, kailangan nila maghunt ng mga wild animals para may makain. At sinasabi nga rin dito na ang mga tao dito kung magkakasal man sila o mag-aasawa, kung hindi sa first cousin nila ay ang mga kapatid nila. At additional ang mga tasaday ay walang superior or leader. Lahat sila ay pantay-pantay.
Po tayo sa social organization ng Mansaka. Sa community assignment po ng Mansaka, meron po silang kanya-kanyang task na ginagawa. Halimbawa po sa men, lalaki, they task in farming during planting season. Sila po yung naatasang magtanim para sa komunidad, para may maani ang komunidad sa araw ng anihan. Mga babae naman po, task to weave clothes and mat. Sila ang nagtatahi ng mga kasuotan na pwedeng mabenta o magamit ng komunidad sa kanilang araw-araw na pananamit. Samantalang ang mga children naman po sa community na ito ay tumutulong sa kanilang mga magulang na magtanim. Sila po ay ang naglalagay ng lupa para matabunan ng buto na tinanim ng kanilang mga magulang. Gumagamit po sila ng walis para ito ay matabunan. Dumako naman po tayo sa leadership and groups sa Mansaka community. Una po dyan, yung Matikadong. Matikadong is the leader of the community. Siya po yung namamahala at nagpoprotekta sa mamamayan ng Mansaka at siya din po ang namamahala dito. Pangalawa, Matadong, elderly people and one of the community's decision makers. Sila po yung mga dalubhasa dito sa Mansaka organization. Sila po ang tagapagpatupad ng ordinansa at tumutulong sa mamamayan ng Mansaka. Pangatlo, mga bagani. Ang mga bagani ay ang warriors of the community. Sila yung tagapagtanggol dito sa mga mamamayan laban sa mga may planong gumawa ng masama sa komunidad ng Mansaka. Sila din ay isa sa mga matataas na high ranking na mga opisyalis o warrior ng Mansaka group. Sunod ang Maniklad, members of the Mansaka community warriors. Maniklad ay isa din sa mga tagapagligtas ng community. Sila yung kailangan mo ng makapatay ng 7 kalaban bago sila maging isang high ranking na bagani.
Historical event Tasaday. The first is the discovery of the Tasaday in the early 1971, followed by nearly 15 years of related neglect. The second is the eruption in the late 1980s from change that the Tasaday were an instance of fog, deception and political corruption by the Marcos regime. So, ang Tasaday daw nadiscover sila noong 1971 by the group of Elizalde. Yung Elizalde is nadiscover niya yung mga Tasaday noong time na yun na inutusan sila ni Marcos na something like na mag-research sa lugar kung saan naninirahan ang mga Tasaday. And then, after 15 years na nadiscover ang Tasaday, may mga researcher anthropology na nagpunta doon sa Tasaday para alamin kung totoo yung mga Tasaday or kung haka-haka lang daw yun. Kumbaga, gawa-gawa lang daw ni Elizalde. Kaya sinabihan ang mga Tasaday na sinungaling, peke lang daw sila, na pinagbihis lang sila ni Elizalde para mapansin ng mga ibang tao.
Dumako naman po tayo sa historical event ng mga IP groups. Una po, Mainit Hot Spring is considered as birthplace of the Mansaka people. Paniniwalaan nila na itong mainit hot spring dito po nagmula ang IP ng Mansaka group. Pangalawa, they adopted Christian religion that is bought by the Spanish. Sila po ay nagpasakop or inadapt po nila, kinuha po nilang Christian religion na dinala po ng mga Espanyol sa Pilipinas noong 18th century. Pangatlo, Mansaka Group learned to mine gold in 1970s. Sila po ay natutong magmina ng taong 1970 dahil na rin sa umuusbong na industriya ng bansa sa pagmimina. Pang-apat, mainit hot spring became uninhabitable in 2008 because of the Typhoon Pablo. Noong panahon naman na ito, lumisan po ang mga Mansaka sa mainit hot spring sapagkat nasira po ang hot spring na ito sa pagdaan ng Typhoon Pablo. Next, deforestation is started after the large lodging companies discovered the place in 1960s. So nung malaman ng mga malalaking lodging companies, mga kumpanyang ito na may malaking kagubatan sa malapit sa tinitiran ng mga Mansaka, ito ay doon na nagsimula ang deforestation o unti-unting pagbabawas ng puno sa lugar kung saan naninirahan ang mga Mansaka group. Mansaka children growing up in more urban environment. Isa po sa mga pinangangambahan ng mga matatandang mga Mansaka ay ang mawala ang kanilang tradisyon dahil sa paglaki ng mga bata sa modernong panahon na pinangangambahan po nila ito na mawala at makaligtaan ng mga kabataan. Yun lamang po.
Issues confronting the IP group of TASADAY. Many celebrated the discovery of the TASADAY. Some smelled the stinking lies that could not be kept secret. Critics of the administration accused Elizalde and Marcos of using the innocent tribe to cover up human right violation, abuse. Dahil nga madaming taong nag-celebrate sa discovery ng mga TASADAY kasi naging cover story sila ng National Geographic. Kaya yung story ng TASADAY nakakot ng attention sa buong mundo. And dahil doon, may mga ilang taong nakaamoy ng mabahong kasinungalingan sa likod nito. And alam naman natin na pag may achievement ang isang tao, talagang mayroong mga taong hahanap ng ways para masira ito. So yun ang nangyari. Yung mga nasa critics of administration, inaccuse si Elizalde and Marcos na ginagamit lang nila ang TASADAY tribe para pagtakpan yung mga kasalanan nila. Like human right violation, pag-abuse sa power and corruption during ng dark period in Philippine history. As I said, tingin talaga ng mga tao na ginamit ang mga TASADAY as perfume para pagtakpan yung mga nasa government nung panahon ng martial law. In 1986, they were accused of being hoax, and the question about the authenticity of TASADAY raised when Oswald Aiten, a Swift journalist, saw the opportunity to check the life of the TASADAY and confirm their authenticity. To his surprise, the TASADAY was found away from the caves, living in nipa huts and wearing casual clothes, and were into farming. Noong 1986, nadamay na talaga ang mga tasaday sa issue ng mga government. And sa mata ng mga tao, ang identity ng tasaday ay isa lamang hoax. And madami ng tao ang nag-question sa identity nila at naging usap-usapan na sila. Oswald Iten ay isang Swift journalist ay nakahanap ng opportunity upang i-confirm yung authenticity ng identity ng mga tasaday. Nagawa niya yun dahil alam niyang wala nang magproprotekta sa mga tasaday. Dahil nung time na yun, tapos na yung long overdue term ni Marcos as president. Tumakas na paalis ng bansa si Marcos nung mga time na yun. And to his surprise, natagpuan niya ang mga tasaday na hindi na nakatira sa kuweba at nakatira na sila mismo sa nipa huts. And nakasuot na din sila mismo ng casual clothes. And nakita niya din sila na nagsasaka na din sila.
Aitan's report saying that a member of the Tasaday is saying that they were promised money and protection by Elizalde in exchange for pretending to be a caveman. Aitan's revelation again drew international attention, but this time for all the wrong reasons. Journalists and scientists once again scrambled to report and study the real lives of Tasaday. Without knowing about the rumors of a hoax, a German group of journalists also sought to check the Tasaday. A week later, after Aiten came, the group documented that the Tasaday were back again in the cave and wearing leaves as clothing. Aiten presented a photo showing that the Tasaday wearing leaves, contemporary underwear could be glimpsed. He claimed that the Tasaday were a hoax orchestrated by Elizalde. ABC News made a follow-up story called The Tribe That Never Was and quoted another Tasaday about conspiring with Elizalde. When Elizalde came back to the country after 4 years, he denied the accusations thrown against him. Ayon sa report ni Aiten, isang member ng Tasaday ang nagsasabing pinangakuan sila ng pera at proteksyon ni Elizalde kapalit ng pagkukunwari sa harap ng kamera. At dahil sa revelasyon ni Aiten, maraming journalist at scientist ang nag-aral muli sa pamumuhay ng mga Tasaday. Makalipas ang isang linggo, pagkatapos bumisita ni Aiten, isang grupo ng German journalist ang bumisita sa mga Tasaday. At ayon sa mga dokumentaryo ng mga ito, ang mga Tasaday ay namumuhay sa kuweba at nakasuot ng mga dahon bilang damit. At nagpakita naman si Aiten ng mga litrato na nagpapakitang nakasuot ng mga dahon ang mga Tasaday, ngunit makikita ang kanilang mga panloob. At sinabihan ang mga Tasaday na mga sinungaling. Pagkatapos ng 4 na taon, bumalik si Elizalde sa bansa at itinanggi ang mga paratang sa kanya.
So, let's move to the issues confronting the IP group of Mansaka. A number of factors forced many Mansaka to find alternative forms of income. One of these factors during the 1960s and 1970s was the increased number of land settlers due to the new logging access roads and large mining companies hiring Visayan migrants. So the migrants are increasing to the area of Mansaka, and the upland settlers too, including the illegal loggers. Although mining organization helps the Mansaka tribe to have another source of income, where before they just plant some patches of vegetables. But because of the influence of mining organization, the Mansaka tribe have no any idea what could be the result in their environment of the enlargement of the mining area. Those mining company and migrants turns to be abusive in a way that they taken for granted the lifestyle of the Mansaka. So the second is The consistent increase of human settlement further up the mountains led less land and degraded agricultural and soil resources for the Mansaka. So, because of mining and increasing people in the area of the Mansaka tribe, the mountain led to be landless and turns that the land loses of its actual or potential to grow plants because the soil cannot anymore provide the normal goods and service of the particular soil. Maybe because of the substances or chemicals that they use when they are mining. So it affects the health of the soil. Mining organization, including those migrants people, took away the privilege of the Mansaka to live peacefully in their own way or own unique way of living. So, in 2008, the neighboring towns of Mansaka and Mainit were recommended to be abandoned, and government also declared them uninhabitable after twin landslides claimed the lives of 20 people. As we know, mining can cause soil erosion, sinkhole, and deforestation. Deforestation of mountain can cause landslide. So the area of Mainit and Masara tribe were recommended to be abandoned, and the government declared their area as a uninhabitable. So because it is not safe anymore for them to live there, and it is too dangerous for them to stay there, they need to migrate to another place or area. So when they migrate or to move to another area, their past environment will be left and be abandoned. So it is sad for the Mansaka, or it is sad for the other tribe of or other communities of Mansaka, that they need to end up or they need to suffer the most.
Issues confronting the IP group of Mansaka. It is important that they do not go into anyone else's territory. If ever this happened, a tribal war ensues. This is the common cause of internal tribal war. A member going into the territory of other indigenous group which causes the death of many members. It is the tribal leader who has full authority to resolve any problem and is the relationship anew.